All right. Hello, everyone. I see a few people joining us. Hello, hello. Be sure to pop a hello in the chat box and make sure you can find that. But we're just going to go ahead and get started since it's noon. So welcome to another Grow Nebraska webinar. We're happy that you're attending live. Today, we're going to cover budget-friendly marketing for small businesses. So we'll go ahead and get started. As always, a huge thank you to Center for Rural Affairs for being a sponsor and a partner of Grow Nebraska. As I always say, without our Grow Nebraska members, our sponsors, our Grow Nebraska supporters, none of this would be possible. So we're forever grateful for the support and partners that we do have. And this month's featured sponsor is Pinnacle Bank. So a huge thank you to them. And our featured member is Control Yours, and they have been a member since 2021. They actually just redid the Grow Nebraska Women's Business Center website. So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It looks beautiful. And then this week's presenter is Josefina Loza. So thank you, Josefina, for joining us today and presenting. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to her. If you have any questions, be sure to pop them in the chat or the Q&A section. No question is a dumb question, so be sure to ask any and all questions.
Well, I am so pleased to be here with all of you. I can't wait to share kind of my vision of Josefina. And, as a small business owner, I know how hard it can be to grow your business. And especially when you have limited resources, it could be the fact of, whether that's people, manpower, right? It could be the fact of I have limited capital, right? What do I do with it? And I'll go ahead and start presenting a little bit to tell you about our vision and who we are and what we've done in the short little time that we've had our business. But Josefina is a marketing and public relations firm. My background specifically is in journalism and communication. We're based here out of Omaha. We reimagine and deploy communication strategies for small businesses, big businesses, nonprofits, artists, physical artists, right? Musicians, you name it. Really, it's about how we communicate the human experience. And so for us, that's connecting people with brands. Some of the people we represent, is in the past and now, there's a variety. We're not just solely, just because we're based here, I want to always say this, just because your home base is here in Omaha and your great city, it doesn't mean that we want you to think globally, right? I connect with people all over the world. I connect with businesses that work with others all over the world. And what we do is we make brands, we manage their reputations, we are connecting people. And so when it comes to business strategy and getting the word out, it may be a neighborhood business that is looking for a social media strategy and how to have a calendar to update it. It could be a nonprofit that maybe just needs more brand exposure so that way they can attract potential donors, but also continue their programming mission. So our small beginnings start really with me. I am, when I said a longtime journalist, I started when I was like 17 years old, yeah. I was just graduated straight out of high school and was fortunate to meet the then managing editor of the Omaha World Herald, Deanna Sands, who brought me in, showed me around, and took me under her wing. And so I have that journalistic background. COVID happened. And at the time, I had already since left the news industry and had moved over into teaching journalism and working with a young, bright-eyed group of kids at an independent college newspaper, and was so fortunate, to be there at the Gateway student newspaper at UNO. And it ignited another vigor with being able to communicate and deploy strategy and situations and how to cover news or how to just create content, right? And so when we had moved indoors, is what I call it, The pandemic really did a number on me as well as a lot of other people. And it hurt my heart really to see so many small businesses that were struggling with how to digitally navigate and figure out where the world is going to, how it's going to reemerge and reopen, and how to keep and not just internal communications with their staff, but also external communications with people. And so they had to evolve. And just like I did. So that was during the time I had decided that, Josefina was something I had in the back of my brain for a long time. And instead of it bumbling around, I wanted to actually execute it, actually give it wings, let it take flight. And so learning to evolve is something that I always encourage people because I started off small, right? I started off a young person who their career was developing, just no different from yourself as a business owner, right? Whether you're in a Fortune 500 company and you're learning where your trajectory is for your career, right? Or you're a business that's trying to figure out where you fit into the landscape here, you have to evolve. That's the biggest thing. In understanding your marketing and in understanding your messaging and how people are going to perceive you. And so that's what we're talking about today is kind of your evolution, right? And I want you to think creatively out of the box, unorthodox methods that are going to actually shake things up for you to get people to take notice of you when it comes to marketing and branding yourself. So I always like to share the definition of marketing as a whole, just because sometimes people just confuse the whole concept of what is marketing, what is public relations, what is advertising. But really marketing it's just the action of businesses promoting and selling their goods, right? Or their services too. It includes all of those things, from the researching of your product to see if it'll do well, to advertisement placement and media buying. The whole point of marketing is to businesses to make money, right? I mean, we're not in the business to lose money. We want to make money. And so it goes back to understanding, what is your purpose? What do you do extremely well? Why did you start this business? Going back to your why, and then being able to communicate that effectively with those who are watching you, those who are taking notice of you, those who may be teetering to, will I invest with you or will I not? So marketing captures the right attention, your targeted audience. It persuades people, the consumer, to want to purchase the product, right? Over a competitor. You may have an extremely great product. They might have a phenomenal product too. But the difference is how you tell the story and how you meet that consumer's needs. Marketing provides consumers with just that opportunity to make the decision. You become the narrator in their lives. That's what marketing is. You provide them an opportunity to see the problem and how you can fulfill that need. So let's launch into this concept, because I really want to optimize time for questions, but for really to see what we can be doing and how we can be strategizing. And I'm very much into having a conversation with people. So I'm not alone on this webinar. If you have questions, just raise your hand, speak up, write in the chat. That's what I mean by speak up. Communicate with me and let me know if you have questions as we move along, so I don't miss anything. But also, I want to be able to really showcase how an activity towards the end. So I definitely want to optimize my time with you. So let's launch into what this is, right? Zero cost marketing. The concept of what can I do if I have lack of resources, or if I want to just be, very creative with how I can market myself, how I can look at social media or online and AI and all the different things that exist out there so you can optimize it. Cross promotion. Hands down, I always say it's not even, competition. Like, there is no competition. You can't compete against me. There's not, because I'm not trying to be, and there's a spot for competition, but it's the ideology and the thought process of collaboration that I think that I want to encourage, especially the people that I work with more so, because when you're able to find another business or another brand and work in tandem with them and be able to cross promote, like share, if we see in advertising, like Burger King does their Post Malone or what is it, Sweetie, or a different artist, right? Get to have their pick of how they would eat their meal, right? Or you see a merger between, maybe it's Skittles and who knows, Nike, and then they have a Nike Skittles brand of shoe. That's a big business, how they cross promote, right? That's creativity in itself. But what we're talking about is you can do the same thing on a micro level. You can find another business or brand, perhaps that's not in direct competition with you, is what we're looking for. And what we want is for you to work together on a social campaign. How can you say you sell ice cream? And I'm not talking about social influencers. We'll get to that. I'm talking about, say you have an ice cream that you're selling, and you want to merge it with maybe a certain flavor that's out there, and it's a specific brand, right? Or maybe you are you own like a facility, like a venue, right? Maybe it's a bar and grill, but you have a great space and you're going to, bring in and collaborate with other people, not just bands, but maybe have a book opening, have be creative with, have a special night that you bring in and draw in a crowd that you normally wouldn't attract. Because cross promotion is when you're allowing two people who already have two brands that already have their own synchronicity with their audience. You're going to be tapping into a new audience, and that's what we're talking about. Now, there's hosting contests on social media. I'm a firm believer of social media as being a direct inbox to people, because that's what we do. We carry our phones, right? That's where we are online. And so the best thing that you can do to engage even existing customers and even attract new ones is by hosting things that are going to allow them to want. You have to have an ROI for them too. They're going to want to come and be a part of what you have to offer, that they're going to want to go to your website, that they're going to want to go to your page, that they're going to want to walk into your business. And that also starts with the thought process of what can I give them to make that ROI something that is, it gives them excitement that they want to share. It could be launching a special contest. When we at Josefina had launched our business, we were still kind of building and we didn't really necessarily know how to leverage that. It wasn't until the website and when we started getting our socials going, right? We're still growing our socials, right? But we had decided to do a specific launch for just the website. And we had so many different businesses that we reached out to and said, we're going to cross promote. We're going to go ahead and host a contest. We're going to have a countdown to, the day of our launch. And for every day that week of our launch, we're going to have a different promo of what you can win, everything from massage packets, from a local masseuse to it was, personal training, to you name it. We had so many different and wonderful, from a photo session with a photographer. That's that cross promoting. That's that being creative, and then it allows you to engage with people, right? You're posting. It was like a daily message saying, here's what we're giving out today. And what we want you to do is to like, share, follow, and that your name is going to be picked at random. And that was it. And that's how we began an emergence of getting followers, because it's really hard to gain attraction, to get people through the door and to get your name out. That's all branding, right? That's all understanding how to promote yourself well. The other thing that I always offer, and a strategy that we had talked about, or that we talk about when I meet with clients, is offering specials. And these are rewards. Like you have, and we'll get to emailing and newsletters and how to optimize a conversation and keep that dialogue going because that's so key. But when you can offer something special as a reward to your customer base, thank you for being a follower, thank you for shopping with us. Like if you keep, like a little business card, and for 3 hole punches or 5 hole punches, you get a free X, Y, and Z, right? Or it could be 10% off just because we appreciate your return business, or a referral program. Like those are all things that are going to excite and keep that loyalty, that brand loyalty, because you're showing appreciation to your followers to increase those sales. So that is definitely something that I always like to promote when it comes to something that seems like a no-brainer when you have businesses, and especially small business, to attract that attention. Okay, we're going to move along. Um, uh, Obviously, organize a webinar, right? The thing is with this strategy is how do you leverage your knowledge? Now, how are you say you provide consulting services, say you are, I don't know, an executive coach, right? And you want to be able to attract people to your packages and things that you offer on your website and those one-on-one sessions, right? So what could you be doing for the most bang for your buck? Organizing a webinar and providing and showcasing your knowledge as you being the industry insider is going to be hugely valuable to you. I mean, that costs you time, is what that is, right? Your time or someone on your team's time, to really broaden the circle, to really open up your network, and have people who may be interested in, growing, their personal or, professional, maybe goals, and need somebody that they didn't know that your services existed. So I always encourage to be a panelist, right? Be a speaker, organize a webinar, get your face out there. One of the things that we do with Josefina is we often work on media relations and client relations, and how can we take our clients and position them into a place where they're able to leverage their knowledge, right? And, maybe that's magazines, right? Maybe it's getting into Martha Stewart. Maybe it's being on a television show. Maybe it's a news broadcast to showcase how A, you're knowledgeable, right, in this industry, and B, it's that name that gets out there, right? It's your company name, your business name, you can it's the whole concept of you are your own best expert. So lean on you to be able to market your business. Building a referral program, that goes back to offering something to your customers, especially those who recommend you. I know when we first started Josefina back in 2020, we're still going through COVID, right? Our client base was all word of mouth, right? And that was probably, and organic traffic that way is phenomenal. It's something that's special where when you have somebody who will give a testimony, who will say this business, this product, this whatever it may be, is so good that you have to try it, right? That referral in itself is gold. And so you should treat it as such, and you should reward the person. You should, honor that person who is sending you new clients, right? That's huge. Um, Going into in-person networking, right? That's another concept of, it's not just going to business networking sessions. I want to say that again because I want you to really pay attention to that. It's not just you going to business networking sessions, right? Trading business cards, shaking hands. You have to learn how to get in the inner workings of these settings and make the callbacks. It's about keeping in contact. It's about building relationships. So knowing your way already in your industry is one thing, but when you're able to all of a sudden, maybe it's you're mentoring someone, maybe it's you're being the mentee, maybe it is just the product in itself. You walk, you shake a hand, and introduce who you are and what you do. That is exposure in itself. But when it's followed up with, thank you for meeting with me. It was so wonderful to share a few minutes of your time. I'd like to get to know you better. Let's grab a cup of tea or some coffee, or let's grab lunch. All of a sudden now you're opening up that intimate setting where it went from, all of a sudden so many people in a room to identifying key players that are going to help you and your business grow, right? And those key players, that's when you have those conversations, that's how you identify whether you're targeting, maybe it's to increase your staff, right? And you want to recruit and hire the right people, or you're actually looking at your business and seeing how you can grow it, or it is just the fact that if you can get out in the front and get that brand exposure of other people, it is so beneficial. Now, everybody always asks me about partner influencers, and um, I smile and I kind of chuckle at that, because you can do it, right? If you have the right amount of coin to get people to your targeted audience, right? To whoever you're identifying. Because I would say, if you're going to work with a social media influencer or any brand ambassadors, make sure that they're the right people, that they're not just pushing a product for an exchange of money, but they truly believe in your cause. They truly believe in your business, that they are, they're there because they want to see you grow, right? Influencers have, I think, a definite a following, but the following is because they're following the personality, right? So that person vouching for your business should be genuine and authentic. So that authenticity works with partnering with an influencer if the influencer truly is authentic in understanding your mission of what you're trying to accomplish. Um, but there's also, so there's the big social media influencers, right? My kids always talk about Nikocado avocado, right? I don't know if you know, but now that's a personality that's been around the block, right? And there's so many others, right? But there's also micro influencers that are right here in your hometown if you're looking for more small scale, but have a big impact. People who have a great following online, people that are going to be able to genuinely say, hey, I'm going to stop in at this restaurant here, take a look. There's so many great items and options. Or maybe you are a destination site, right? You can easily say, come to our farms because, we have glamping, and, you give this person an opportunity at a discount or maybe a free night stay to showcase what they've done. In fact, I and one of my business partners had used the opportunity of collaborating with a local, a big furniture company, and it's still mid-size, it's growing. But we were able to outfit pretty much all of our office space, because we showed and through social reels a little bit about the day in the life of, we had this blank canvas of space and we wanted to fill the office. So in exchange for our marketing and promotion, they were able to give us a budget of the items that we picked out we could keep and have. So we were able to outfit our office. And it was an incredible experience. It really was, to unveil the office, to showcase some of the things that they have, to just the exposure, the brand exposure was very organic. So when you partner with an influencer, know that influencer doesn't just mean Nikocado avocado or those that you find on YouTube. It can also be somebody that has a great deal of being connected into our community and can help you leverage, their contacts and get your name out. Then we have, let's see here, comment, right? Comment. What does comment mean? It means you're already online. And if you're already online, you're already seeing people like and following and commenting on your stuff, comment back. Go on to other people's their websites, their talk about certain topics, like go follow the trends. That's why we hashtag things, right? So maybe you have a lawn service business, and with that lawn service business, you're trying to attract more clients. Well, then go tag, or look for tags or threads online that, maybe people are asking about when's the best time to do aeration, and then comment on it. And then also say, feel free to check out our website for more tips, right? We'll get down to the tips and packaging up your websites, which are key for exposure and keeping people, getting them to buy the product or sign up for your service. But I am a big fan of connecting with people. It increases your brand awareness. And what it also does is it gives you personality. Brand voice is everything. And when we talk about brand voice, that's when you think of if you had to pick in your brain, and I'll let you think of whoever it may be, but if you follow somebody on Twitter and it's a brand, maybe it's on Instagram. Think of, maybe, are they snarky with the way they talk? Are they informative? Are they playful? Are they conversational? That's the brand voice, right? So you get to take on your brand's persona, and you get to showcase what you do by just the conversations of who you are, right? I think of Snickers and that whole thought process. If you're hungry, I know we're at lunch hour, right? But where, there's a cranky person. Remember those commercials with like Betty, was it Betty White? And so she, they would say, maybe you need a Snickers, and it's those kind of taglines, it's those things, it's those memories, it's that voice, right? That voice carries through to build your brand identity. And so when you're able to carry it through with commenting, it increases how, whether or not I want to follow you. Wendy's is hilarious on Twitter. There's so many different like fun, like Nike, and depending on I love following the brands just because of their messaging and how they comment on popular culture and how they share memes. And I think that you're missing an opportunity if you don't connect. Start your own LinkedIn group. You should be on LinkedIn, especially if you're a business, not just the CEO, right? Not just the president, but also you should be encouraging the professional development of your staff and have them be on LinkedIn promoting you. I find that putting together a page and then and we'll get to newsletters in just a moment, but having content that is shared about your successes, the business successes, sharing about, first milestones, sharing new products, giving people sneak peeks behind the scenes. That's your opportunity to do that on LinkedIn. It is very much so a professional setting. So then you change the tone of your language and what you share to make sure people understand it, but don't be so stiff. Know that that's an opportunity for, say you're a nonprofit, that's where you're going to be able to connect with big businesses or potential sponsors. Say you're a business and you're growing and you want to reach out to market, that's where you're going to be able to do those collaborations. You're going to easily be able to connect with people that are industry insiders, as we said, right? But also that that carry the brand's initiatives on a larger scale. So you want to be able to definitely have more exposure in the same front as you would in Instagram. You should also be having that footprint in LinkedIn. And now we're going to talk about linking up. And I think linking up is something that people don't really understand or think about. But when you come to like a SEO and understanding the connectivity of what's happening online, you want to make sure that you're able to tag and that you're able to share your product, but then also make it so ridiculously easy that it would be ridiculous if the client or the consumer who was scrolling on your page and saw something funny that you didn't provide the link to buy now. Like it's those little things. Like if you're mentioning a product in the blog, or you're mentioning the product on with a fun feature on online, that you should be putting the link of where they can buy it directly, right? Um, it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed sale if you're not linking up, if you're not connecting on the back end. For me, a good website, right? Even if you're a small business or you're a big business, regardless, is that you're able to provide information, you engage, you entertain, and then you also provide, it's that knowledge, that expertise of how to get it, right? Because you've got them excited about something. So link it up, let them buy it, let them go directly to your services. Creating a blog and having information. And I'll show you a little bit about Josefina and how we do things at the end. But it goes back to establishing credibility, right? It goes back to understanding that if you have a wonderful product, say they're scented candles, they're homemade, you want to get the word out that they exist. They're phenomenal, right? And you want people to buy Nebraska, buy local, right? You can provide, as that industry expert, information on how to use it. Like, what are the new scents? Like, what's popular by high demand right now? And what, like perhaps, it could be the psychology of smells, right? That would be a fun article. By having information to say, well, did you know that when people smell citrus, it makes them, feel a certain way? It increases actually concentration. So like lemon, it is extremely popular, all the citrus smells, if you want to increase concentration. So having valuable information that's going to pique somebody's interest, right? All of a sudden they see that, and then you're selling a lemon scented or citrus candle. That's good. And then you have the link that says click here to buy now, right? You've already groomed and conditioned that client to see that this is something that they need, right? And here it's just a click away. And that's what we want to be doing when we're linking up, but also creating useful information that's relevant and informative to that client, right? Let's continue on. Then there's the hashtags. I mean it. When I said follow those hashtags, follow the trail. We don't just hashtag it to make it look cute and put like a category on it. Like that means that you have marketing, digital, right? Somebody who's interested in marketing or marketing strategies or digital marketing. I have all of a sudden 28.4 million people who are following this thread to learn more. Why would I not tag it so that way that post gets more exposure? That's why we hashtag. It's to make you searchable. It's to be able to create these interactive, engaging extensions, so that way you're reaching users, that you're reaching new clients, right? And it's relevant content. So follow, read, click through, and see how you can be connecting utilizing those hashtags. Guest blogs, just like blogging on your website and providing information is helpful, right? For it increases your Google ranking because you have more content and it's original content. So that way why wouldn't you, right? B, like you're able to provide information to your customer base, right? You're the expert, so you're providing them information that's valuable to them, and you're able to upsell or sell. But C is that when you provide a blog or allow an expert to be a guest expert on your page and vice versa, you be a guest expert, you're genuinely able to connect your business with their business, right? You're able to share, just in the same way of cross promotion, right? Just in the same way of having Skittles and Nike work together, right? Then all of a sudden, both of them are sharing about one another and they're saying, how did I do this branding, right? That's what we want. We want to say, okay, well, we're gonna talk about the psychology of smells, and we're gonna bring in an expert, and that expert's gonna write a story and like provide that. And in exchange, they're gonna get their name out. We're in tax season, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking about how to optimize their credits and taxes, right? So there's certain things that, like, even being the expert there to conditions like, oh, how maybe if I have a tax preparation company, I would say, here are the things, the 5 things you need to know about doing your taxes, or the 5 things you need to bring, or, maybe here's a new credit item that, you should be, aware of, whatever it may be. Whatever industry that you are in, when you are positioning yourself as the industry insider gives you the credibility, but you're also coming with knowledge. That's going to be something that you push out and it lands among other people, and then you'll keep doing it. You're going to have a reason for them to return back onto your website, and vice versa, right? That when you are cross promoting and working with other people and providing them an opportunity to look at how they can be a guest blogger and ask them to share with their networks, then you're like, it's organic. It's authentically connecting your businesses in a way that's going to help you both leverage and grow your audience base. So I always say, think about writing or hire a blogger to do that. So customer generated content. This is gold through and through. There is nothing greater than those testimonials. So celebrate it. Ask your customers to send you reviews, right? 5-star review, get them on Google, right? Get them on your Google page, get them on your website, so that way you can share why this is, the best burger place, right, in the neighborhood, or why they're so happy they found those shoes, or, maybe look at that perfect body and they want to give credit to all of, the maybe it's the wonderful workouts that their personal trainer has put them on to, it's your customer that's vouching for you again. If you hear the theme that's happening here, the theme being that your customers and what they say and how they think of you is so incredibly important that you really are missing an opportunity if you don't showcase those narratives, that those personal stories, that those images that they have, right? Think of how many times you went to a location, you hated it, right? It is so much easier to read the poor reviews and the negative comments, and they hurt us, but you need the positive ones. So those ones are the customer generated content, and sharing those and getting them to give a good review. Not everybody, like, you might have a wonderful meal and say, that was so good, right? But they keep that goal to themselves. They need to be sharing it with others, so that way your brand expands. So that is key. And email marketing. So this is where we get into the newsletters, and this is where we get into the offers, and this is where we get into how to directly link up or connect with your audience. Sending emails to a huge audience doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't, right? They're getting emails all day, every day. So all it really costs is your time and your creativity. And if you're not someone who's going to have an email base of contact, a point of contact, then they're kind of off alone out there in the world thinking, okay, it's a great product, but I don't really think about it anymore. But when you pop into their emails, or you pop into their socials, or you go where they are, then all of a sudden you're now curating an audience base that is going to want your information. They're going to want to know that your latest blog of lemon scented candles is out, and it's providing information to say, okay, this is a holistic way of not only having my house smell beautiful and wonderful, but it's also how I can concentrate, whatever it may be. But you're able to communicate effectively your brand and your brand messaging to that audience that cares. So once again, it goes back to having a group, having that niche market, being able to communicate effectively to them. And that's going to be through direct marketing, through those emails, and newsletters. And they're gold. I mean, they're gold. We started with maybe a few hundred, and now we're at 13,000 subscribers on our newsletter. And I am just like, here's what we did this week. Here's behind the scenes. Here's the new brand. Here's something that that we've been working on. Here's, we want your opinion. What should we do? Like when you all of a sudden open up, somebody's supporting you, right? They truly believe in your business. They want to see it grow. That's why they buy from you, right? And it's a phenomenal product. They can't live without it, right? That's why they go to you. Or it's a service that you're providing and you are like the best coach who helped them like build whatever, strategy that they needed. They're going to want to recommend you, right? So when you're able to be in their inbox and give them all this information and then ask them questions, you're opening up dialogue with them to allow them all of a sudden to come into your world and they feel a part of the process. Isn't that what it is? Especially when you first start out, like it was me against the world, it felt like. And then all of a sudden now we have a team of people and we have supporters and they like and they share and then they want to cheerlead you. It's like cheering on your favorite team, like, right? That's what we want. You're it. You're the expert. Be out there. So using media is another option. Having quality press releases written, sharing your news. Maybe it's not an official press release. We offer those services, but maybe it's just you sharing in an email. Here's something new, because then you're garnering attention. Send it out to news outlets. Maybe your business is award winning and it won like the best brew of the century, be able to have bragging rights. When you're working a business, man, you should brag on yourself. You should gloat. Get away from that thought process of a shameless promotion. No, it's not. It's you have every right to let people into your world and you celebrate with them. You celebrate them and in exchange of honoring our clients, right? They celebrate us. And so why not share that with the media? Why not increase those portals, increase that audience base? So that's why ramping up your socials is huge. Having those polls, participating in contests, being able to share behind the scenes with your business, right? Upsell your customer. If you already have customers, right, and you're already connecting with them through an email blast or a newsletter, or maybe you have an event that you're getting out, right? Don't let it just be a mailer in today's sale. Like, no, don't just put out there the sale, but be able to engage them, right? And then when you have them, say online, you do e-commerce, when you have their attention, make sure that AI, that automations are built in where you're encouraging people not to forget what's in their cart if they leave, or you remind them later that day that, hey, feeling sad, you left your comb in the cart, whatever it may be. So that way it brings them in. And then when you have them, right, and you're there, that's that whole, do you want to add on? Do you want to add on? Do you want to, this is, think of how Amazon does it, where they offer up other related items. You could be doing that same automation to make sure that your customers know what you have existing, and maybe there's other options that they might want a little bit more of. Maybe they like the citrus smells, but they want to try rose petals, so be able to showcase those things. And now we're getting closer to time, so this is why I wanted to have this activity, because I want to practice goal setting with you all and understanding what is your target. When you talk about marketing, it could be anywhere. It could be brand awareness. It could be just, hey, I'm looking for free things or free items to, or small cost items to really market the business. But you have to have a goal. And I'm big on SMART, right? Small, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals. And so when people say, okay, I just want to increase my sales, I just want to get more people in. I'm like, yeah, but what does that really mean? What is your measure of success? So brand awareness is another one. Like, people just want to know about my product. I just want people to know about my product or my brand. One of the biggest campaigns that I loved and how creatively it was done was milk. So the dairy farmers said, okay, we have this thing, and they probably need to go back to this Got Milk campaign. But they needed brand awareness on milk, right? And understanding that, their milk numbers, they're, looking at their data points and they're not good. So then, what was thought of, the tactic is, how do we promote it? And what do we do in a campaign that's measurable to see what the success base is? And that's where Got Milk came from. It was a clever slogan, 2 words. Here you go with your influencers, right? Your celebrities that are marketing it and why it's good for your body. That's what I'm talking about. Like, how do you cross promote? How do you leverage your context? How do you get in front of people? How do you make it catchy? How do you make people remember you? What do we provide? Here's another option. I'm going to use us. I provide a lot. Media relations, public relations, communications, marketing strategies, copywriting, media kits, you name it. But this is a lot. It's overwhelming when people see it. Think of your websites. Think of the information you're putting out. If it's overwhelming, there's too much. It's doing too much. Imagine if I had an advertisement to say, these are all the things that we do. Like, it's too much. My eyes don't even know where to go. So that's why we talk about like understanding your reputation, understanding your brand, understanding your audience, and then figuring out how you're going to market and target that audience in a way that's going to be clever and that they're going to understand. You have to simplify. So the way we simplified on our website, before you get inundated with all the things that we do, here are all our competencies, here are all our services, here's what we offer, we narrow it down to, we are just reimagining connection with brands and people. That's what we do. We connect people and brands. That's what we do. So how do we have a campaign that focuses on that? We spread the word. You go viral, right? Simplify in a way that allows your audience base to understand what you do. I do all those things, right? I'm able to attract people's attention. I create designs. I mesmerize, but what is it that I do? Another slogans or advertisement. This is like a brand messaging that we're talking about now. I Disney tribes. We create the link. It's reaching with impact. We go wide and deep. We create, right, with care. We understand people. So when you're able to all of a sudden be able to bring people in, have them understand why you exist, who you exist, the need that you're filling, and you're able to allow them to be a participant in your business, then that is genuine, like clever key marketing, that it happens in a way where you couldn't live without it. Case in point, Kleenex. We know that there's lots of different brands, but we say Kleenex. It's tissue paper, right? I need a Kleenex. So when you start to think of how you fit into the fabric of what's created in our society and you merge people, then all of a sudden you become a standout I can't live without. So here's my contact information. I am going to start sharing now. I want to thank all of you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and take a key look at any questions. How effective are blogs currently? Who still reads? So that's a good question. If you have a blog, right, it's information that they use. My people who follow my newsletter get my blogs. That's how I share my blogs. And my blogs get clicked through. And remember, it's data and information that is allowing, even you're looking at analytics, for you to be able to push your Google ranking up by providing that information. But also, think of, if you don't want to do it in a traditional blog, use multimedia storytelling. Think of like all of those wonderful TikToks. I have all of my young people, my interns especially, learning how to do this. But it's like, how can I share? Because we're a very visual society, right? Blogs do matter, but it's being able to connect people visually back to that blog for more information. If you care about it, you're going to find the time and you're going to make a way to learn more about that information, right? That thing, that topic that's on your brain, right? So, the frequency of it, maybe you're just starting out and you just want to do one a month, right? Okay, it's not going to have the impact that you're looking for, but it's something that's on the website. I have, I 3 stories that go out each week, you know. If I was to, let's see if we can do it really fast because we have 10 minutes left. I can show you how I do it. Let me go back, hit escape. Let's go into Josefina and make sure you are all able to see the website. Okay, here's our website. And again, we're looking at, the clients, right? So we showcase our clients. We, on our front homepage, explain what we do, switch from audiences to tribes. We close the gap and turn audiences to tribes. We communicate, right? So going into the question like here, okay, so we identify what we do, who we work with, how we do it, and then we go into a product, right? A feature product for you to see that, this is something that we're now like sharing, right? This is new, this is out. And then we go into these featured articles. So they are land on the homepage. And we also share events, things that are happening, and then you can immediately right there. Remember how I said you got to make it clickable, order now. You got to put a way at easy access for people to join that newsletter. We have our testimonials, what makes us award-winning, right? We have it clicked right here, book a consultation, right? We have the testimonies that people can click through and see so many others that are sharing what's been done and how they've worked with us, right? And then, the end. But we call it community. We brand it in a way where we're building a lifestyle, we're building a community. And that's how I would recommend you do it. So I have my store, right? The store that I can click into. I have all of the competencies, the packages that people can have, right? I have my community. And when you go into community, it's just an offshoot on your website, and we share not just what's happening in our world or our space, but information. Gen Z shatters the marketing funnel on social engagement and authentic engagement, right? This is a story written about how Vogue Business did this wonderful survey on Gen Z and how their consumer behaviors are so drastically different that it's disrupted the traditional marketing scale. So we provide information. What's trending, right? So what's trending? It's a weekly roundup of items and products. See, now if you are thinking of how to cross promote and some girl has 13,000 followers, why wouldn't you want to mention to me, hey, Joes, can you feature my product on your blog? That's that thing of how to cross promote. And then when you start to build yours up, we would promote, have Josie be on your blog, right? Josefina Loza on your blog talking about X, Y, and Z. That's what blogs do. You provide them how to craft an effective story pitch, right? The story pitch I did was so good, it landed me a spot on national TV. And I share how I did it, right? The post right here is our most popular blogs. My newsletter, and I'll tell you when it comes to effectiveness, right? Because I'm gonna stop sharing now that you understand it. When the newsletter goes out, what is crazy is the thought process of newsletters. It's like they say, say I sent it out to, I did. I sent out my newsletter to 10,000 people. And, with all the bounce back rates or whatever, it shows how many people actually received it in their inbox. And then how many people actually opened it, right? And then from how many people opened it to how many people clicked in and actually read the story. You keep those analytics, right? With the newsletter, you could use something free like MailChimp. You have your emails, you input the emails of your customer base, and then you start creating and contacting with them, different sales and different things. We promoted that one story to 10,000 people because I have different categories where I send out newsletters that are specifically geared to certain niches. And for this one, it was more geared to like a lifestyle group. And so I shared how it was 10,000 plus followers. And they say that an open rate of 1 to 2% is doing well. Really, you want to be at 3 to 4. But I was blown away. Of the 10,000, and now I'm not talking about an open rate, like they read the email, they click the email, it opens up, and then they go onto the site. We had them an open rate of 85% for that story alone. You never know what's going to land well with people. But now I have the analytics. Now I can go in and I can see how all this information is going to benefit. Like, this is what my audience wants. This is how I'm going to cater to my audience. This is what they want to know more of. So having that information, and it brings them back to your website to see how many people were on my website, what their age was, were they male, female, were they in Omaha, were they elsewhere, having all those demographics, that's gold. That's gold, right? So now I know who follows me and why they're attracted to certain bases. That's MailChimp gives you all those things. We also provide email services, Josefina.com. Definitely check it out. I don't want to hard push what we do, but just know that if it's there's businesses like mine out there to alleviate that stress for you. If it's something you want, if there's engagement that you're looking for, but you don't have the time because you know what you do well are scented candles, or you know what you do well is executive coaching, hire a company like myself or whoever exists out there to create that for you, alleviate that stress. That's why those services exist. I love it. I love being in that space. I don't know how to make a scented candle, but what I can do is I can market it. I can promote it. I can engage with people on it. I can educate people about it. But what I don't do, it's not my cup of tea. So therefore, I'm going to leave the candle making to you, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the promotion to me. So that's what this webinar was really based on. Like, here's all the engagement. Here are the things that you could be doing. Here's how you can be using digital strategies. Here's how to start small. We started small. Any other thoughts or questions? I wanted to go on here. Oh, you couldn't see the website. I'm so sorry, but I'll put it right here, www.losefina.com. So you can have the website, and www.losefina.com/community is where you can see those blogs. And more importantly, sign up for that newsletter. You're going to get free information that's going to go straight to you about different strategies and things that you could be doing. So, and then what's new and what's popping. So as far as trends.
Awesome. Anything else? And I was gonna ask, am I okay to put your contact email in the recordings?
Please do. Yes, please do. And then, if you want to link back to the website, I'm sorry it wasn't showing. I don't know why it didn't show. But I do want you to, you're online. You're with me already online, all of you. So click on the link, click on the community, click on the services that are offered. Just study people, study brands that you really like. Study how other businesses do it, right? And if you're uniquely yours and you're study things that are done that aren't maybe of the same business like you, but you just like how they engage with people. We're studying our own craft. We started a business for a reason. It was to fill a void. Something small I was going to say is things that we give out for free. We give out little stickers. That's so easy to create, stickers and magnets, right? And just share them with our audience. These stickers go on water bottles and laptops and all the places. I found out that one of my stickers made it to Peru and they shared it with me online. You never know where you're going to land. But it's really cool when you're able to engage in those small little tokens of appreciation to your audience base. They'll love it. Any other thoughts or questions before we conclude today? And then, like I said, my direct email, because you can reach out to me, is office@losefina.com. That's my email, you know? It's when I say connect, I mean it. Don't say it, but be about it.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions, so I will include your contact email and your website in the recording send out that will go out today. So be on the lookout for that, everyone. But thank you again, Josefina, for presenting today. I myself took a lot of great takeaways. And for those of you watching the recording, if you have any questions throughout, just be sure to email Josefina. Or if you have any other questions, you can email me at zoe@grownebraska.org, or you can give our store a call and any of our team members will direct you to the right way. Let me just double check. Oh, someone said thank you very much. Awesome. So we have some awesome upcoming trainings. Our next one is next Wednesday, April 3rd, and that's with Maria, who was at Market Tech, and Josefina is actually at Market Tech too. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, so you may have seen her present live and in stereo. But that will be over Power Your Business with AI. And then April 18th, we'll have Adam DeFresco. He was also a presenter at Market Tech, and he will be doing an SEO boot camp, turning your website into a lead generation machine. And then on April 25th, we'll have two gals from the Allo team discussing growth and leveraging social media to find new teammates. And then we will have Josefina back in May. So all of these are up for registration. So feel free to go to grownebraska.org, and then you'll find the upcoming trainings tab. And there you'll see we have them all the way up until June. So if you register now, you'll get reminders and it's all taken care of. Or you can scan the QR code, of course. And then just checking the chat. And then be sure to follow us on social media. We would love to connect with you guys on social media. We also post all our trainings, any upcoming events we may have, and Nebraska products that you can purchase. So be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. We have it all. And then be sure to leave the Grow Nebraska Foundation a Google review and let us know how you're liking our services and resources that we're providing to you and your business. It's always appreciated. And I just want to check, make sure I have. Okay, perfect. Well, that is all my announcements. I just wanted to check the chat one more time. So thank you again, Josefina, and thank you to everyone that tuned in live and to everyone that is watching the recording. And I hope you have a great rest of your week.